What's up everybody, Matt Maran here, and this is the 2022 Toyota GR86. So it's heavily reworked here for this new generation, and I think it looks really sharp. They had it in this track red, they're calling, is the color. It's B red. It's kind of a funny spelling, but that's a cool color. There's a bunch of different colors for these, but it looks really sharp. You'll see that also the premium ones have that exclusive extra spoiler there, which really accentuates that ducktail look. And here in Halo White, it also looks very sharp. This is also a premium model. I will be showing a base model towards the end of the video here, but really sharp up front there. I gotta say, it looks much better in person than it does in pictures. When I first saw the pictures, I wasn't in love with the look, but seeing it in person, the way that nose comes to a point there is really cool. The headlights look really nice. You do get two different headlights, by the way. The base model gets non-adaptive headlights. You get adaptive headlights on the premiums, and yeah, just a really nice profile there, especially in the front. You also will see you get forged wheels here. These are the 18-inch wheels, and they do come with Michelin Pilot Sport 4 tires, so you do finally have grippy tires here on even the standard 86. Those vents, by the way, are functional, so they wanted to make sure that they made that actually functional, and they fought to make sure that that actually was functional and actually did some effective aerodynamic help there in the wind tunnel. You also see the double bubble roof, which looks great, and even those side skirts really come out a lot more than they did on the previous generation, and that also helps with aerodynamics as well. And yeah, I really like those wheels too. You got those little spats there also, and there's another look at that spoiler, which I really actually like the way that looks. But if you don't like that spoiler, the base model does not get it here in the States. LED taillights, LED headlights are also standard as well. So great, you have LEDs across the board no matter what. You also will see there's a handy little button there to pop open the trunk. And if you know about the previous generation, there was no exterior button there to open it. You had to use the key. Now you have a button. That's very much appreciated. And looks really good in the back end there. Lots of cool little details, like even the reverse light there, the lower part of the rear bumper looks like a boxer, kind of horizontally opposed piston shape there, which is cool. But yeah, I just really love the side profile of this, and I will show the interior here in a minute, but it's very interesting with the way they redid the dash design and everything. But yeah, so I mean, the engine's very much improved. I will be showing the engine here in a few minutes. Yeah, I mean, the huge thing is it has a 2.4 liter naturally aspirated flat 4 boxer engine now. You have 23 more horsepower and almost 30 more pound-feet of torque, which comes on nearly 3,000 RPM sooner than before, and it's really should help make it a lot more drivable around town, and make it much more punchier at all speeds. But anyway, love this startup animation, which again emphasizes the whole boxer cylinder arrangement. Really nice digital gauges. Those are also standard regardless of whether you go for the base or the premium. Also, that 8-inch touchscreen is standard as well. Now, you do get 6 speakers with the base car. You go up to 8 speakers now in the premium, so you will get a better sounding stereo in the premium. But as you can see, this screen's pretty snappy and responsive. It doesn't look super pretty. It's not the most high-tech looking screen, but it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and that's really all you could want, although it is still a wired-in source. It does have NFC pairing, but no wireless smartphone integration, unfortunately, but I believe there are adapters you can do as well if you must have that. But all the buttons and knobs also feel a little bit more high quality than they did in the previous generation, especially like those climate control knobs actually have a nice kind of weight to them, have a nice texture with that knurling. Now, it's all plastic, but it still is a huge improvement over the old car if you're familiar again with the old car and what it used to have. And those knobs and everything are also standard, by the way, so it's not like you get a much cheaper interior in the base model or anything. It's very much very similar. But yeah, interesting how that passenger side dashboard really juts out. It doesn't really seem like it blends in very well in my opinion, but at least the materials and stuff are nicer, and it does mean you have a nice large glove box there, which is great that you have that. And so yeah, I mean, the whole interior design, I mean, it's not amazing, it's not going to win any awards or anything, but I think it's really nice, functional, works great. This one has the automatic, and I'll get into the transmissions here in a minute as well. But I love that the seats are now perforated. As someone who previously owned a 2013 BRZ, the Alcantara in that was not perforated. It got very hot in the summer. Thankfully, the perforation should help, even though you don't have cooled seats, only heated seats. By the way, there's the key for anyone that's curious. That's what it looks like, and it has a really nice weight to it. It's the same key you get with Subarus as well. You also see this nice center cubby, which is improved from before. It has an auxiliary jack still and 2 USB jacks there and cup holders as well. And you will see it splits in the middle, but unlike European vehicles where you have one side opening and one side closed, this you have to open both sides at the same time. But nice to have those cup holders there and that extra little bonus space as well in front of it. And so yeah, I think they did a nice job there. I always wanted an armrest there. The BRZ and 86 didn't have one, so nice to have that. Also, the button and switches, all the switch gear and stuff feels nicer, although the door handles are still pretty cheap plastic, nothing too advanced there. I also really love those circular air vents. Nice side mirrors there, and you also see the paddle shifters here for the automatic. But anyway, the gauge cluster, all digital, like I said, has the trip computer here in it. You also will get a voltmeter and also your oil temp, which is really nice to have that. Otherwise, you have a G meter, which is great. It'll also show you your dyno graph, and also will kind of just show you, lap timer, just the basic stuff, but nice to have those little bonus things. It will also show you your audio information, and also this one has the Eyesight safety tech from Subaru on the automatics. Those are the only ones that get that, and so that'll give you that lane departure warning, adaptive cruise, all that kind of stuff. But really great to have all those features there, and yeah, just really nice looking gauges. I love the nice large tack there in the middle, and it will also go to a sportier look, so it will have like a bar style tack in track mode, and so that's a nice little touch there. Back seat looks pretty much similar to the old car. I think it's almost identical, honestly, so space should be almost identical as well. Still not super spacious or anything, but there is that engine, which, like I said, is larger now, much more power. Power comes on sooner, and also this is all despite the fact the vehicle still only weighs about 2,800 pounds. That's an approximate weight that Toyota gave, but 2,800 pounds means you have all that extra power and really no extra weight, and so a very impressive improvement there. And also the manual and automatic transmissions have been improved, so there's another big mechanical change there. So the 6-speed auto now has adaptive controls, they say, that sense the brake and accelerator inputs, allowing it to be in the right gear all the time. And so they also improved the torque capacity, because you're going to have extra torque here, so they increase the number of clutch discs. The manual now also uses a low viscosity oil and strut bearings that enhance the clutch capacity and gear strength again to help with that extra torque. And also they say it's a low catch manual gearbox, so it should shift smoother. But here is the base model. So immediately you see the headlights are a little bit simpler, but you really have to be staring at them to even notice a difference. They still look just as good, and everything else, all the trim and stuff, still looks just as nice. You do have, again, the 17-inch wheels, which are a little bit smaller, and they have Michelin Primacy tires, which I'll do a close-up of in a second. But coming around to the back here, you'll see that you don't have that taller spoiler. Still looks really nice even without it, but I do prefer it with it, I think. But either way, it looks great. Now, I didn't have quite as much time to have a close-up look at this one like I did with the premiums, but you can see the nice cloth seats there. No lumbar adjustment or anything. I think it's pretty similar to the old seats, but they were very comfortable when I sat in them. But you can see still 8-inch screen, still the same climate controls, all the same materials, just missing the heated seats and a couple other things. But yeah, there's a nice look at those wheels, the Michelin Primacy tires. And it's still a very nice looking car there, even in the base trim. So it's really nice, but I think they just did an awesome job with the styling on this car. The suspension and chassis have also been improved, and there's various different changes they've made to stiffen things up so that now it's 50% stiffer in the front for the chassis and 60% stiffer in the rear. And that, of course, goes along with all the suspension improvements and stuff they dialed in, to work with this, larger engine and all the other changes that they made. And so it should feel really, really good on track as well. I did do a quick track ride, 1 lap, with a professional driver, and I will link that above if you want to see how it drives, how it sounds, all of that. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.